Another beautiful day out here today. I am loving this weather as we get into springtime. Today is day after St. Patty's Day, if you worry about those things like holidays and stuff, man-made things. Anyways, yeah, so today we are going to be talking about why you don't own anything. And I have a couple things I want to talk about, a couple examples that I have for this. You as an animal, because we are technically still animals, right? Can't own anything. So let me use this from like a more natural concept. Talking about, like I said, for example, for animals, right? Can an animal own anything? The answer is obviously no. Does a squirrel own the tree that it lives in? Does a squirrel own the nest that it makes? No, obviously not. Does a tiger or a lion, let's say a lion, oh, there's actually a weed whacker up here, so I guess I'm not gonna go that way. Does a lion own the area that it occupies for its pride, right? Like its group, and controls. Of course it doesn't own it. At any time, another lion can come, push them out of that area. At any time, an animal can, or another lion can end up ending them, right? Like becoming the new king of the pride or whatever, the new leader. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm basically going to be talking to you guys about. But if you want to look at it from a more societal, personal point of view, like with people, you also are not able to actually own anything within our society because, for example, you have a house, right? You own a home. Well, actually, you took out a loan on that house, right? And technically, the bank owns that house. And now, is that really even true? Well, technically, no. The government then after them is actually the one that owns the land, the property, whatever. But even they don't necessarily own it, right? It's not, I mean, it's a part of the earth, right? Like the land and things like that, and it's a house that's just been made. Basically, the point that I'm making about all of this ownership is that it is really just in temporary possession of something. So yeah, any animal, including humans, cannot own anything because the idea, if you really break it down and think about it, to own something, I mean, I haven't looked at the specific definition myself before I did this, probably should have done that. But the concept doesn't make any sense. I believe it's something that's made up once again, like the idea of money. We talked about that in another video. But a lot of these ideas that are given to us and concepts that we put heavy, how should I put this? Put like heavy importance on, are actually not important at all, right? So like I'm saying with the ownership thing, it's always like, oh, I gotta own my own car, I gotta pay off my car and then I own it, right? Oh, I gotta pay off my house so then I can own it. And you're using imaginary money, right? Like you're using these like paper bills as an exchange of value in order to acquire something, right? Acquire something. But then again, do you really own it? No, it can still be taken from you. It can be stolen. Like I said, it's a temporary possession of something. So I think I had another example that I wanted to talk about here with the ownership and kind of like backpacking off the idea of like an animal owning something, right? Because if you look at it again from nature's perspective, there's always going to be a bigger animal there to take it from you. And I guess this kind of goes back to like with the whole society thing, like I was talking about with the idea that you don't really even own your own life technically, right? Because you're a servant or a slave to the governmental system that we live in, the societal system that we live in, right? And I wouldn't even say necessarily they technically own you, but it's more like a own you, right? Like they're the masters over you, right? Like they're like the head beast or whatever, like the head dog, however you want to look at it, something like that. Because like I've said before, the government can technically, I don't really know if we're gonna have drafts anymore, but we have had drafts, at least in the United States, before. So technically you don't even own your own life, because at least as a man, you can get conscripted and sent off to war, right? Or they're gonna, I mean, hunt you down and I guess throw you in jail or something like that if you don't want to go or whatever. I don't know how all that works. I don't think we're really gonna have that anymore in the future. It's probably not something that you necessarily need to be worried about. But yeah, you're not even in full control over your own existence in life, let alone being able to own and like have a house or whatever. You can argue too that like, oh, well, we have generations that will continue keeping these houses, even though a lot of people sell and do like bad things with their money and whatever, or well, bad, right? Because in reality, all animals don't have like they have a compulsive type, yeah, they have impulses, right? So like really having like, what is it called? Discipline? Yeah, discipline, and like holding back and things like this is actually unnatural. So that's why a lot of people actually have these problems and gambling. I mean, other people have like other issues too, like mentally, right? Trauma from the past, things like this. So that also kind of ties into like, maybe not necessarily more natural things, because we live in an unnatural environment and then we probably have unnatural problems, right? Like being unattractive, not eating right, being mentally ill, all these other things. So but yeah, the main point that I wanted to make is, even though you can pass down the houses and material items down to future generations, that still doesn't mean necessarily that you own something. And now you might be thinking, okay, truth is go, like you're kind of like nitpicking based on the words. Well, I guess that could also be another point that I can make, is that words don't actually fully express our reality, which, oh, this is actually a really good video idea. I think I could just make a quick point on this now that we're talking about it, but yes, you're right. The words don't actually fully express an idea, and you know why they don't do that, even though the idea is kind of made up and it doesn't fit in reality, and we're kind of nitpicking with semantics and things like this. But you know why words don't actually explain reality? Well, one, because they're words and they're usually manipulated and used to create even more of an illusion than we already have in this reality, in this life, right? Because everything that we are basically experiencing in life is controlled. But the reason why also is because words also don't exist, right? Because words are symbols that you write, like a, you know, like let's say you want to say math or something, or happy, HAPPY, right? But that's given meaning because of all the indoctrination and the schooling that you've gone through, right? Like if someone who was just a normal human being and they lived out in like a forest or in a jungle or something like that, and they saw like the symbol with like an H and APPY, they saw those symbols, they would have no idea what that means, right? Like it would have no meaning. They would just look at it and be like, someone wrote that, right? Like the scribbles and stuff, you know, but those symbols don't actually mean anything. They only have meaning because you've been taught that they have meaning, right? So it's actually really funny about the word owning, and like any word, is since they too don't exist, right? They're not gonna actually have meaning and application into something when you put it into a sentence and you try to apply it to life. So you can't own something because it's temporary possession of it, but you also can't own it because the word actually doesn't exist, right? Like it's a word, right? So it doesn't exist. Now, does that mean that, for example, like something in the, I guess, more natural, like around me, like a tree, does a tree exist? Yes, the tree does, but does the word tree exist? Technically no, but since we are kind of like animals with, like, I guess you could say higher consciousness, even though we don't really have an understanding of what consciousness even is, right? That's kind of funny that I just like came up with some of this off the top of my head. I like that, like just kind of adding like little snippets in here for you guys. That's where we're like going through and thinking, and you guys can also have input as well too. I think that's really awesome about the internet and being able to share ideas and stuff like this. But because we're a human, we have to put names on things, which I don't even know if like natural humans necessarily do that like a lot. I think that they do communicate, obviously, but the word would just be sounds that you make in order to communicate. It'd be like an animal communicating. Like, I don't know if you can hear the birds in the background, but there's some birds like chirping, right? They would have like an interpretation of what that means, like there's danger or they're happy or whatever, right? So, but the tree exists when you're here with it, you feel it, you see it, you touch it, right? Like that tree right there or that bush. But the word tree is something that's made up, right? Like it's not an actual thing that's in reality, but yes, it is a tool for communication. Obviously it has uses, right? When we're speaking in English or whatever, right? Or árbol in Spanish, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to you guys about. But yeah, a human, like, and if you really want to look at it like big picture and take it out, like even like, say for example, the city, which is also non-existent, owns this park that we're at right now, right? But that can always change in the future, and because it always is ever changing, and there's like no, like, how do I own it? Is it because I can hold my arms on it, or because a piece of paper tells me that I have it? So because a piece of paper with man-made symbols on it, that gives me suddenly ownership over something, right? No, that's not, in reality, that's not how it works. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I got some good sun today. It's awesome. It's like gonna be in around 80 degrees today. I think that's like, ooh, I don't know what that is in Celsius, like 27 maybe? I don't know. I kind of forgot Celsius now that I've been back home for a while. I did like a pretty nice trip over in Asia for most of last year, so, but anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, be free thinking, and I hope you guys will try to critically think. And if you have any ideas for more future videos or anything that you want to input, put in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.